So I started training in December 2020, and when I started, this is what I looked like. As you can see, I was basically a fat slob with no life, completely miserable. However, with just 365 days of lots of effort actually, alhamdulillah, I ended up looking like this on December 2021, in December 2021. And alhamdulillah, by Allah's grace, I was able to go from a slob to a slob with a six-pack. A pretty good transformation if you ask me. Now, how did I do this? How did I go from having no six-pack to having a six-pack in just a year? That's exactly what I'm going to break down. So let's get into it. Number one, training. So understand that your abs are literally just like any other muscle in your body, apart from like calves, where you don't magically have abs if you lean down, right? So let's say that you're 100 kilograms and you lean down to 80 kilograms. Do you think you're gonna have cannonball delts? You're gonna have freaking Derek more plates, more days delts if you do that? No, obviously not, because you need to train for years and years and years in order to actually get those types of delts, and you also need some external assistance. If that's not the case with your shoulders, why do you think that would be the case with your abs? Because your abs are just like your shoulders, your chest, your back. They're just another muscle that Allah put inside your body that need to be trained in order to actually see tangible results. Instead of doing, like I used to do, 5-minute ab circuit workouts on YouTube, saying like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to add abs in 30 days. No, it's not. That's not how it works. You need to train them 2 to 3 times per week, diligently, for months and years. If you do that, then my friend, you will have abs. And if you also take into account diet, which I'll talk about in a second. So what do you actually do? I tell you to train them 2 to 3 times a week, but what do you do in those training sessions? Well, you simply choose an ab exercise. I'll talk about which one. You do 2 to 3 sets of it, and you take it all the way to failure. If not very close to failure, leaving like 1 to 2 reps in the tank. It's pretty simple. So an example could be, on Monday you do 2 sets of knee raises for 8 to 15 repetitions all the way to failure, right? And on Thursday you do 3 sets of crunches for 8 to 20 repetitions all the way till failure. That's it. If you do that for a year straight and you take care of your diet, you're gonna have abs. Simple, inshallah. Now there's one caveat when it comes to exercise selection. Most people, when it comes to training the abs, do things like planks or some form of a static hold where they have to hold the position in order to train the abs. That is actually pretty good, but that's very important for stability. But if you just want to build raw muscle, if you just want to build muscle-free abs, if you just want to have those popping abs, it's better to do dynamic movements. It's better to do movements that take your abs to a range of motion. So think of something like a hanging leg raise. A hanging leg raise takes your abs through a complete range of motion. You know, they're getting stretched, they're getting contracted. That is much, much better for building muscle within the abs instead of doing stability exercises like planks or side planks. Now, don't get me wrong, they still build muscle, but they're not as good for building muscle as something like a hanging knee raise or a leg raise or some form of a sit-up or a crunch. Those are much better for that purpose. So here's what I did within my very first year. I used to train 3 times a week, and hence I train abs 3 times a week, and I would only do planks. I did not know any better at that point in time. That's the point of me teaching this to you, so that you don't make the same mistakes as I did. I would do planks and side planks 3 times a week, and I did incorporate a bit of knee raises, I believe, here and there. I got stronger at the plank to the point where I believe I was doing multiple sets of weighted planks for 60 seconds each, if I remember correctly. If not, it was at least 30 seconds. So even if you get to that level, you're obviously still going to build muscle, and obviously that resulted in this. Me having abs. Yay. Number 2, diet. Now, on to the most anticipated thing in the entire video, which probably most people have skipped to. If you've skipped this, go and watch the training bar first. Now, building your abs, like we talked about in the previous section, will obviously make them pop at a higher body fat level. So even if you're, let's say, 15% body fat, but if you have very, very strong abs and you have done sets upon sets and reps of hanging leg raises, knee raises, all these exercises that take your abs through a full range of motion, you're obviously going to have popping abs even at a higher body fat level, even at a higher body fat percentage. But if you really want to see them pop, then you need to obviously lean down. Now, if I'm being honest, my diet was extremely simple during this entire year. Like, I'm talking extremely simple. It was nothing too fancy. I wasn't eating liver or anything. I wasn't eating liver or tongue or anything like that. No, it was very simple. So for the first 8 months, I did not track any of my calories because I just simply could not. I did not have a food scale, and I was still consistently seeing progress. So I was like, there's no reason to even get one. I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna get one. All I did was simply eat clean and eat lesser than I usually did, because in my mind I had to lose weight when I first started, right? So I was like, just eat less and train. That's literally the formula to lose weight. So let's do that. So when it comes to eating clean, I remember not having any sugar for 2 months straight. I'm talking no sugar, like no processed sugar, zero processed sugar. Even on special occasions, I did not have any sugar. Like, that was a point I got to, and it was actually pretty good. And in fact, I did not have much sugar or even junk food at all throughout this entire 1 year. Sure, I had cravings, but in my mind, my goal of getting to my dream physique was much, much, much more important than eating pizza. Now, obviously, if it was a very special occasion, I'd still have some, but that was very rare. Even if I go out with my family, I still try to stay on the healthier side of things. Now, like I said, I also ate less, and I did that by simply reducing the amount of food I have in each portion. So instead of having 2 pieces of roti, I'd basically have 1 or 1.5, right? Instead of having 2 pieces of naan, I'd have 1 or 1.5. So just by making those small changes, it compounds over time to give you an increased amount of weight lost. However, even though I was eating less, I was still mindful about my daily protein intake. I mean, I was only weighing like 60 kilograms at the time, so 63 kilograms at the time. So that's not a lot of protein that you need to ingest anyway. I basically ate a lot more chicken in order to get my protein in. So my diet looks something like this: eggs with toast or oats for breakfast, whatever my mom made for lunch, and dinner would be rice and chicken breast with yogurt or beans or lentils. I did that for a solid 8 months, and eventually I got to this physique right here. Just doing that, just training hard 3 times a week, and also taking care of my diet, not eating processed food, not eating sugar, and eating a bit lesser than usual. Now, after those 8 months was when I finally got my hands on a food scale, and that's when I really started tracking my calories. I was like, I have a food scale now, I have access to MyFitnessPal, let's go on a cut. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, let's go on a cut, let's just get lean. And that's exactly what I did. I started off with what I believe were 2,200 calories, or I believe it was 2,500, I'm not sure. And I ended the cut at 1,800 calories. Now you might say like, oh, that's very low, 1,800 calories. But I was actually having a lot of fun eating at 1,800 calories, because for some reason, I don't know why, my appetite reduced a lot as I leaned down. It reduced a lot. I was actually less hungry, not more hungry, for some reason. And I actually enjoyed eating 1,800 calories because of that exact reason. So I could only eat, so basically however much I normally would like to eat, I was basically eating that, which is pretty darn cool actually for me. I also ate a lot of satiating foods that fill you up, right? They're low in calories, but they just fill you up. For example, vegetables like okra. So you can still eat a lot, but have less total calories. That's actually a hack if you want to lose weight. If you're struggling to lose fat, just eat foods that fill you up, and those foods should be less in calories as well. If you do that, then you're going to lose weight flawlessly. Not flawlessly, effortlessly. I believe I did intermittent fasting on the days I did not go to school, because I just did not enjoy eating in the morning. And I also wanted to focus on my work, and I found that if I did not eat, I focused much better on my studying. So on the weekends, I did not have any breakfast. I would directly have lunch and dinner. And on the days I did go to school, I would either not have breakfast before going and directly have lunch in lunchtime, or I would, and obviously lunch and dinner, or I would have breakfast and lunch, but I would have a smaller quantity in both. But no matter what I ate, I always made sure to track in MyFitnessPal to see if I was within my calorie range or not. And 3 or 4 months of doing this consistently, alhamdulillah, your boy was looking like this. So if you're serious about getting lean, if you're serious about, losing weight, losing fat, I command you, I don't recommend, no, I command you to get a food scale, because it just makes things 10 times easier. You know exactly, and I mean exactly, how much you're eating, how many calories you need to adjust your current calorie intake by in order to continue losing weight, because you have data. And nothing is more precious than data when it comes to losing weight, because you know exactly how much you're eating, you know exactly how much you need to adjust things by, which makes it just effortless to lose weight, literally. And that can eventually lead to faster progress. For the first 8 months, I have multiple times where I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if I'm eating enough, I don't know if I'm eating less, I don't know how much I'm eating, this constant anxiousness that was in my mind, that could have easily been avoided if I just got a food scale, because you have data that shows you how much you're eating, so all anxiousness is removed. One more thing is that I'd weigh myself every single day. I believe I did not have a weighing scale as well for the first 6 months, I believe. And it was only after that point I got myself a weighing scale as well. So as you can see, I did not have the best resources, but alhamdulillah, I was still able to get to the point of actually having a six-pack, which shows that it's actually very much possible. So I weigh myself every single morning on an empty stomach and after going to the bathroom, because you have all the fluids and all the solids ejected from your body. I take the average weight of each week. So let's say I weighed myself on Monday. So I weigh myself on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way till Sunday. And then I add all those and divide them by 7. If you know how to take an average, that's basically what it is. I take out the average and I compare it to last week to see if I lost weight or if I gained weight or if it was the same. And based upon that, I basically adjust my calories. So getting abs is actually insanely simple. All you need to do is train them, eat less, eat healthy, track what you're eating, and track your weight. Do this for months and years on end, and inshallah you're going to have abs. It took me a year. If you use this information, I'm pretty sure it's going to take you less than a year. So, that being said, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.